I'd like to start off with a little story in this video to help set the basis of what I'll be helping you do so you can experience the same things that I'm about to tell you that I experienced. Now, these things may sound like a brag, and I'm gonna sort of brag about them on purpose so you can get excited about what is possible for you. But roughly this time last year was the first time I'd ever hit 5 figures in 1 month. I had made £10,000 in a singular month. Now, that wasn't all from this YouTube stuff because I do have a few income streams on the go. But nonetheless, when they were all calculated, at the end of the month, I had made £10,000. And while this was only a couple of £1,000s more than I had earned in previous months, something about the milestone of 5 figures completely changed my perspective on the game of money and manifesting money and what money can truly do. My life took a completely different trajectory. I was tapping my card at expensive restaurants without even looking at the bill. I was buying stuff for the house that only months beforehand I was putting in my Amazon basket saying, one day I'll get that. I could just do it because it was all just there. Now, like I said, I'm saying this in a braggy sense so you can get excited about it because I grew up in poverty. I grew up in very bad financial situations. My mother had to do some things she probably regrets massively to this day to get us food on the table, and my father refused to be particularly expressive with his money, at least as far as my young mind can kind of remember and understand from being that age around him. So money was never abundant for me. So 5 figure months, 10 years ago now, 8 years ago now, maybe even up to 5 years ago now, was just out of the park kind of possibilities. Never would I have assumed that a 5 figure month was in my future. But I got it. And I want to tell you that you can get it too with just some simple changes. Because I didn't do anything exceptional. I followed the process of manifestation and manifested these 5 figure months. But it's not like I did anything ridiculous like winning the lottery or have someone die and receive it through a will. I actually genuinely just affirmed and changed a couple mindset habits and made multiple 5 figure months. And I've never looked back since. So I want to help you with that today because many of you have been asking me for money videos, and money is my own struggle area more so than, say, specific people. But I've come a long way and I definitely feel I have more than enough to help you succeed on a financial front. But where I want to start with is what I did to manifest from a proactive standpoint. As I was going through my day, a little bit in the morning, a little bit in the evening, but also during the day, whenever money came to mind or whenever I was just doing something mindless and needed to fill that time with some affirming, I would affirm things like I earn £10,000 per month. Each month I make more money than the last. I have so many new and returning coaching clients graciously paying me for my products and my services and things like that. And I would just loop these over and over and over and over again. On occasion, I would look into why I felt money wasn't possible for me. And it always came back to the same sorts of things. I'd never seen money as a possibility in my life. Not just me, but with people that I know. So I didn't have the first-hand basis of being financially free clear in my head. But I'd read this book, The 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem, and in it there was a line, not from the author themselves, but another psychologist, that was, a person's success is indicated by their current expectation of success as opposed to their previous experience of failure. So what that told me was, despite never having any financial abundance before, always living paycheck to paycheck, always having to borrow money when something went wrong, those were previous failures. My success was indicated by my current expectation of success. So I chose to let go of the old Matthew and the old Matthew's experiences of being broke, for want of a better term, to decide from this moment forward, whenever money came to mind, I would ensure I took it the right direction. So I started affirming those things that I mentioned in the morning and night a little bit, and as I went through my day. And that helped build up that proactive standpoint. But I did notice as well, in amongst all of this, that there was some things I was doing that was detrimental. For example, checking my bank account and getting anxious whenever there wasn't enough money there. Thinking I can't afford this because it's too expensive and things like that. Just generally being a broke person with a broke mindset. That's not so much what I was doing like last month, those things, I'd already kind of cut those out. This was like a few years back, but I'm sort of telling you the things that I did to help myself get through these to then lead on to the 5-figure months. 5-figure months. I was already kind of doing these next things that I'm about to tell you leading up to this. I was just then beginning to be more proactive with, hey, actually, you know what? I want that next big number, that next big milestone, which is the proactive side. But what I started to do was I started to look into things that I was doing that was detrimental without even second guessing it or without actually opposing it. Like the things I just said, where I'd say, oh, I can't afford that, or I'd check my bank account and get nervous. And what I would start to do is actually imply something else is the case. For example, whenever I checked my bank account, instead of going, oh my God, I'm broke, I'd see the number, I'd understand what it would mean, but then I would say to myself, the rest of my money is in a separate bank account. Or what if I looked on Amazon, for example, and I filled my basket with things that I wanted, but it came to too much, I'd remove some of the things that I couldn't afford, but I would change the reason out of I can't afford it into something like, I haven't actually just got the space for that right now. I have to clear my house a little bit to make space for it. Or, you know what, I don't actually want to wait the delivery time. I'll go into the shop tomorrow and buy it in person. And I would make these different reasons why I'm not getting something. That doesn't mean it's because I'm financially insecure. Not insecure. What's the word that I'm looking for? Financially struggling. I'm just going to go with struggling. Because I was financially struggling, I would make the new reason. And I would do this with every possible incident that I noticed around money to be more abundant. Anytime, whether it's checking my bank account, whether it's checking the price tag of something, whether it's being asked to go out and eat, for example, I would make some kind of excuse that wasn't about being broke, but instead was about having enough money, but choosing not to use it. Or having enough money, but it's somewhere else, which is why I can't see it right now, like the bank account incidents. And with these little changes, these little habitual changes, I stopped being so anxious about money and thinking that money was such a limiter to my life. And instead I started to just look at money as something neutral. I can choose to spend it if I want to, or I can hold on to it and use it later down the line. That was the story I told my subconscious mind. And then with the stuff I was doing last year, where I brought in the idea of earning £10,000 a month, each month earning more money than the last, and so on, I had now the choice about what I did with my money because I'm earning so much of it. And that led me to getting that £10,000 a month and then following months of high income as well. But one other thing that I started to do as well, and funny enough, I actually saw this on I don't know who it was, so I couldn't even really give credit, but just know that this isn't my own concept. It was on an Instagram post I'd seen it like years back at this point, where they said something along the lines of, never get jealous of what something someone else has. Instead, see it as a sign of what's coming to you. And they would recommend like thanking the universe for showing you your future or things like that, or congratulating someone because they have the same thing as you have now. So whenever I saw a Lamborghini driving by, or whenever I saw a man in like a really nice looking suit, well fitted, you could tell it was high quality materials, at least a few hundred for the full thing, I would say stuff like, hey, that guy's got a suit like mine. Or that car's really nice. My one's in a different color though, and I like that more. I would just tell myself these little things that meant absolutely nothing, but to the mind they do. Because the repetition of, I got a Lamborghini like that, I got a suit like that, thank you for showing me the next car I'm going to buy, in conjunction with looking at my bank account and going, all the rest of the money's in my other account, this is just my burner account, in conjunction with going, I earn £10,000 per month, my mind was going, holy shit, this person that I am in right now is balling. While in reality, I was doing good. I had more than enough money to get me through the month and so on, but I wasn't doing that good. But my subconscious mind didn't know that because I didn't let it see any of that. I dealt with the bills at the beginning of the month like every other person, and then once that was done, I got on with it. I'm earning £10,000 per month. Each month I make more money than the last. I have so many new and returning coaching clients graciously paying me for my products and my services. Oh, I'm checking my bank account. All the other money, the thousands upon thousands upon thousands are in my other account. Oh, this stock has only got a couple of thousand in it. That's fine. I got the other stock exchange that has about 10 grand in it on its own. Oh, crypto's down today. That's fine. I've got loads in all of these different IPOs and such. Your mind doesn't know any difference. And you're not harming yourself or anybody else by just making these little tidbit lies. But by doing so, your mind is absorbing that information and it's going, we're earning £10,000. We've got all of these clients paying us. These are my examples. Obviously, you could make your own. My manager's paying me a bigger bonus each month than the last, for example. But like, oh, he's earning £10,000. He's got another bank account with thousands in it. He's got all of this going on. He's got IPOs going on. He's got a huge stock accounts and all of these different exchanges and apps and all that kind of stuff. I'm balling. He's thanking people. He's thanking the universe for showing him the next car he's going to buy, and it's a £300,000 car. I don't even know if they go that high. I'm not too proficient on cars, but it's a £300,000 car. He wouldn't be doing that if he was broke. And lo and behold, I'm trying to remember, I think it was within 3 or so weeks from when I started doing the affirmations that I mentioned, was my first 10K month. Maybe a little bit longer, maybe a little bit less. The details on the time are a little bit hazy because it's over a year now since then, or around about a year. But I'm pretty sure it was within about 3 weeks-ish of doing these affirmations was then the end of that financial month. And that's when the first 5-figure month came into play. And it was just simply by impressing the subconscious mind proactively with how much I earned, but also then being reactive to the 3D in a way that was favorable for me. Noticing when my mind wanted to go, oh my God, we've only got 20 quid in our account, and going, well, I can choose to spend that 20 quid if I want, but I don't want to because I'm just going to save the money for now. I've got too much food in the fridge to fit anything else in anyway. My other account has got all that money in, sort of thing. And I would just feed it new information. And before I knew it, 5-figure month came in, followed by another 5-figure month, followed by another one. And it stayed that way because I changed my attitude around money. And there's actually another client as well that I have, or actually there's an academy member, and as part of the academy, you can get coaching with me. So I suppose technically a client as well in this respect. And I sort of advised to her, once she has paid her bills, to stop checking her account. If she couldn't check her account without feeling anxious and it wasn't doing any benefit to check her account, she already knew how much had gone out, she'd already known how much was left, stop checking the account. Stop giving yourself more things to try to overcome. And she did that. And not only did she feel better, and I need to try and remember the details. If you're watching this video right now and you're comfortable with it, put it down below if I do slightly mess up some of these details, because this was a little while ago that this sort of stuff happened. But if I remember correctly in chronological order, not only did she start to feel better financially because she wouldn't be constantly giving herself these spikes of anxiety from what she's seeing on her account, but she also then got a new job with a much higher pay. And again, if I'm remembering correctly, she mentioned that the pay that was, despite being higher, was kind of just offered to her by them. She didn't have to fight for this pay. They were just like, here you go. And she's like, increase? That's amazing. So she got experiences of this improvement. Hopefully she's more than happy to put down below the actual specific details so you can all learn from it. If not, maybe I can see if she'll be happy for me to actually give a full success video on it if you guys are interested and if she's happy with it. But either way, this is a fairly recent, I think this happened like 2 months ago, maybe 3. When you work for yourself and you kind of work from home all the time, the days just blend into each other. So I actually don't know how long ago this was, but I think it was about 2 or so months ago that this happened. And that was just from not checking her account so much. And if she did have to check her account, trying to be a little bit more positive about where that money is, or like her general money mindset. So these are the things that I did to create 5-figure months. I honestly recommend you just get started with them. It doesn't matter if you have no job, if you've got a job, if you've got your own business, if you just do trading on a day-to-day basis. Turn these principles into your own specific way and you can succeed as well. Now, if you would like my help one-to-one to actually look into your situation and how you can do this more accurately and more proficiently and more successfully, I am more than happy to do so. In fact, I actually love talking about money. I don't talk about it so much because I know most people on here want their people more so, but money and goals and ambition and drive and all that kind of stuff is actually my favorite thing to talk about. So if you wanted to work together on money, then we could definitely deep dive into all of that. And we can help you get to where you want to be there. 5-figure months for yourself, maybe even so high as 6. Maybe we can work together and we can be accountability partners, getting ourselves to 6-figure months in the future. But no, in all seriousness, if you do need my help, if you want me to tailor advice to your situation instead of relying on the general concepts of manifestation that you see on YouTube, then check down below in the comment section or the description. There you'll see my website where you can work with me one-on-one, or as I would recommend more so, sign up for the Academy, because in the Academy you get all my courses, all my exclusive videos, all my products, discounts on everything else, and as a sign-up bonus, you get to work with me through email one-on-one as well. So it's kind of just a win-win for you. And there are more things at the Academy as well. That's just a couple of them. So check it out if you're interested. It'll be the best thing that you can do. But for now, thank you for being here, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.